Hello, hello, beautiful people. Once again, something is going on with my camera. So we are going to have a podcast. Once again, the people on TikTok can see me. Hi, TikTok. I have no idea why this keeps happening. Sometimes the camera works, sometimes it doesn't. I've trouble shot everything and it says everything is good. Um, you know what? This is just how we roll. Let's find a nice let's find a nice you know what? We're just gonna go with this. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Sweet Like Honey Coaching. My name is Kimberly Hess. I am your favorite anthropologist and empowerment coach. And today we are going to be talking about Byron Katie's The Work. And Byron Katie is someone that I found out about many, many moons ago. I can't even tell you how many years ago. And I was just thinking about her work a couple days ago. And I said, well, as I'm thinking about it, why don't I have other people think about it? So here we are. Here we are. All right. So I think the first thing, let's investigate for those of you who don't know who Byron Katie is. Let me find my notes and talk about who she is. And my notes have disappeared. Okay, well, let's do it this way. Y'all, if it's not one thing, it's another. Like you come fully prepared and then life just starts lifing. And that's okay. This is why I'm here for you. And I always like to tell people, do not go to a life coach that says he or she is perfect because no one is perfect. I really believe that we have to coach from a place of understanding. And I feel that most people, if they understand you, if they've been through things, if they're thinking that they're not perfect, then they won't expect you to be perfect. Because we talked about this weeks ago. We are not striving for perfection. We are striving to just do, right? To just to just begin, to just finish. Nothing is going to be perfect. So let's not try to be perfect. So, what if your stress, fear, and frustration don't come from the world, but from what you believe about it? Ooh, oh. So, like I said, as I was listening to Byron Katie, or thinking about her the other day, I was listening to her this morning in preparation for the show. And she said, if you think the world is awful and horrible, then that's what you're going to get. And I think a lot of others would say that's part of like the law of attraction. You, what you think about will come to you. And I believe there's another word, I think it's called confirmation bias. So if I think the world is lovely and beautiful and full of roses and sunshine, then that's what I will attract to me. If I think everyone's mean and horrible, then people won't hold the door open for me and people will curse me out in line at the checkout counter. I don't know, or someone will road rage me. I don't know. What you get, what you think about, you get. And I have to tell you all, I really, really believe that if your thoughts are negative, then more negativity will come to you. And so there have been times in my life, including very recently, where I was like, woe is me, very much victim mentality. And not saying that there aren't victims, there definitely are victims. And I don't want everyone to think, oh, well, what everything bad that happens to me is because I'm thinking bad. Yes and no. We do live in a world where there are people that are here to mean you harm. And what I was telling a client last week, we have to focus on ourselves and how we can change the narrative, how we can change how we think about ourselves in relationship to the person that we want to change. So I was telling this client, don't focus on that person and at all the wrongs that they have done to you. Let's start changing the narrative and focusing on yourself. Hey, thanks for the follow, Just. Hey, thank you. Um, think about what you can do to change, because I think the best advice, some of the best advice that I've ever heard is you're never going to change someone, right? You're never going to change that cheating husband. You're never going to change the boss that doesn't respect you. You're never going to change the friend that betrayed you. You're never going to change your neighbor who yells at you and your cat, right? You're not going to change them. We cannot change people. If we did, I have a whole list of people I would change, people that I know and people that I don't know. Let's start with um, you know, these world leaders. If I could, I would change them to be compassionate and kind and empathetic and care about their constituents and constituency. I can't change that. I can't change them. I can't change anyone but myself. But you know what? Who I can change? Me, Kimberly, right? In how I feel in relationship to that person. If someone calls me out of my name, if someone is like, you're ugly and I can't stand you and I don't like your hair and I don't like how peppy you are. I can't change them. I I can't change them. You know what I can do? I can change my thoughts and how I relate to them. Instead of me saying, "Oh my god, they're horrible and maybe I am too peppy and maybe I should start wearing different clothes because they don't like me." No, 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 no. Let's change yourself and how you think about them, So that neighbor who doesn't like my flower dress, you're like, he doesn't like my flower dress. That's on him. So what I'm doing is I'm changing how I perceive the situation, which is so powerful. Honeybees, you have so much power. And I always say this as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, right? We have so much power that we do not tap into. If we believe ourselves to be beautiful, successful, loving, kind, abundant, all the things, no one can take that away from us, right? If someone calls you a pink elephant, you're like, what are you talking about? I'm not a pink elephant, right? I'm a brown human. It is all how you think about yourself, how you can change your inner being and how you perceive not only yourself, but the situation that you're in with the person. So, y'all, I just went off on a tangent. Don't try to change other people. It's not going to work. People are not going to change unless they want to change. Let's focus on changing ourselves. So, back to Byron Katie and the work. I'll repeat this again. What if your stress, fear, and frustration don't come from the world, but from what you believe about it? So if you believe the world is awesome and loves you and gives you all kinds of good stuff all the time, that is what will eventually happen. And the mind is very powerful. We have to train it, right? Because I believe the mind automatically defaults to the negative. We automatically default to the worst case scenario. We automatically default to things aren't going to work out. This is why our news, our media, our entertainment is filled with drama and scarcity and fear because our human brains default to the negative. I 100% guarantee you, I don't know the stats, but of the news stories put out there, I'm sure 99% of them are negative or elicit some kind of fear in the body versus positive. So if you're watching, like, let's say your local news, 90 or any news, probably national news is probably 99% horrible. Right? 99% woe is me. And then at the very end, they'll have a segment with, a firefighter getting a cat out of the tree or a cute puppy. But for the most part, it's negativity because that's what our brains connect to. That's why there's scary movies. That's why there's doomsday movies because our human brains default to fear, scarcity, negativity. It is hard work to think positive. It is hard work. My honeybees on TikTok, my honeybees on LinkedIn, my honeybees on YouTube, it is hard work. And I am here as an anthropologist who studies culture, as an empowerment coach that wants to motivate you to live your absolute best life. This is what I'm here for, to offer you a different perspective so you're not just looking at the negative. Back to Byron Katie. Who is she? She's the creator of the work. Her website is thework.com. So if you want more in-depth um, information about who she is and about the work, because I'm not like certified. I am, once again, I am a nerdy cultural anthropologist that has all this stuff in her brain. And I want to start sharing that with people, the things that I find beneficial, the things that I find interesting. So go check out the work at Byron Katie. Not sponsored, but if she wants to sponsor me, call me Byron. Call me. So she's known for her simple yet radical process of questioning thoughts, right? And we're going to go through this process very deeply. Once again, I'm not certified. I'm not a life coach for Byron Katie, but I do want to spread her work to people because I think it's really impactful and effective if we start questioning our thoughts, right? So she's helped millions rethink their inner narratives from leaders to everyday people. If you go on YouTube, you will be able to find her full workshops. Like you can do a full workshop on your own for free with Byron Katie. And I highly recommend that. And then you can also go to her website and sign up for a virtual or a live workshop. So, what is the work? It's a process of identifying and questioning stressful thoughts. So, I want everyone to think of a stressful thought right now. And then, as I go through the 4 questions that she asks in the work, you'll be able to identify why you're thinking that thought. So, just think of something that's stressing you out right now. Think of like a stressful thought that you want to focus on. uh, I I I have many stressful thoughts. I'm sure you do too. So let's just take one and then you can, redo it. Once again, everyone come on in. I got people live on TikTok, I got people live on LinkedIn, I got people live on YouTube. I just want to tell you you could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me. Even those of you that are watching the replay, I love you. Thank you. I even put on like a really pretty bright dress for you. So those of you on YouTube and LinkedIn can't see me because I don't know what's going on with my camera. But if you go to TikTok, you will see I am all flowered out today. I got the pink eyeshadow, I got the flower earrings. I have a I have 2 sets of flower earrings. I got a flower dress on, and let me tell you y'all, I'm feeling myself today. I'm feeling all 51 years. Okay. So, these are the 4 simple questions. So everyone, if you can grab your phone, a piece of paper, a journal, a Post-it, think about the thought that I told you to grab, the stressful thought. So these are the 4 questions that Byron Katie with her work ask. The first one, is it true? So think of the thought, the stressful thought that you have, and ask yourself, is it true? So let me do a collective stressful thought just to model. And let's say the stressful thought is um, my boss doesn't respect me. Okay. My boss doesn't respect me. That's an example of a stressful thought. So Byron Katie would have you ask, is it true? Is it true that your boss doesn't respect you? And then you answer yes or no, right? Can you absolutely know it's true? So that's the question. Can you absolutely know it's true? And the model thought is my boss hates me. Can you absolutely know it's true that my boss hates me? Well, I can't absolutely know it. He or she has never said that. Okay. And so the third question is, who would you be? I'm sorry. How do you react when you believe that thought? So if the thought is my boss doesn't respect me, the question that you ask yourself is how do you react when you believe that thought? How do you react? Does it make you feel insecure? Does it make you angry? Does it make you sad? Does it make you fearful? Maybe you feel if your boss doesn't respect you, you'll lose your job. So, how do you react when you believe that thought? And then the last question, who would you who would you be without that thought? Who would you be without that thought? Would you feel more empowered if you didn't have that thought? Would you feel respected, right? Would you feel happy? Would you not be so fearful? Would you feel empowered? Who would you be without that thought? So once again, this is the process for identifying and questioning stressful thoughts, right? So you have your thought. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when you believe that thought? And who would you be without that thought? Okay, and then so that she ends it with a turnaround that shifts your perspective. So I hope you journaled all that. Once again, you can go to the work on Byron Katie's website and actually do that. And I think this is so powerful because, as I was putting the show out, telling people that this is what I was going to talk about. And I just said, is it true? Is the thoughts that we think true? And I think so many thoughts that we think are not true, right? We might be like, oh, my like I said, my boss hates me. Does she really hate you? Or is that something that is not true, but you're kind of running with it, right? And your boss has no idea. Your boss has no idea that you feel this way, and your boss doesn't hate you. So I'm Googling how many negative thoughts do we have per day? I used to know this by heart, but I don't want to say it wrong. It can vary widely, but the estimate is the negative thoughts that the average person has per day. Hold your horses. What do you think, honeybees? Put it in the chat. You get 10 negative thoughts a day, 100, 1,000, 5,000 negative thoughts a day? Y'all, the average person can have between 40,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, with around 80% of them being negative. So let's say you have on the low end, you have 40,000 thoughts a day. 80% of those are negative. 80% of those are negative. Remember when I spoke just a moment ago about the human brain defaulting to negativity, defaulting to the doom and gloom, defaulting to the worst case scenario? Y'all, out of 40 to 60,000 thoughts, you, my honeybee, I'm talking to you. Out of 40 to 60,000 thoughts that you have per day, 80% of those are negative. So this translates to around 32,000 to 48,000 negative thoughts a day. So when I ask you right now, or in a private coaching session, or in a retreat, or in a TikTok video, or on a LinkedIn post, when I ask you if your thoughts are true, I hope you say, no, Kimberly, some of those aren't true. Because let's just do it on the low end. If you have 40,000 thoughts a day, 32,000 of those are negative. Y'all, do you think all those negative thoughts are true? So let's think about some of the thoughts that you have maybe had today. You wake up in the morning. If you're someone that has not yet trained your mind to be positive, you're like, oh, it's too early in the morning. I can't do this. I don't want to get out of bed. Okay, there you go. And then you're like, oh, I got that report at work due, or oh, I have to do this. Okay. Or you're like, like it's just nonstop. And let's not even talk about getting on social media first thing in the morning, which I am guilty of. I am so guilty of this. And I realize that when I do not get on my phone first thing in the morning, y'all, my days are good. You know why? Because I don't have that negative input stream in my head. Because remember, I was saying that media is pretty negative, right? It's just like our human brain. It defaults to negativity. So even with my algorithm being I like to skew it towards like motivation and positivity. Y'all, the algorithm is like, we don't care about your positivity. We don't care about your empowerment. Let me tell you what's going on in the world. And I'm not going to show you all the good things going on in the world. I'm going to show you all the bad things going on in the world. And even when the social media algorithm will show you good things in the world, like I follow this content creator and she's absolutely lovely and she's very very um her parents are very very wealthy, but she's like adorable, and she does like cute TikToks. And sometimes I'll watch her TikToks and be like, wow, imagine having that kind of money. Like today she was on a yacht somewhere and she was going through her bag, and I was like, that must be amazing to have that kind of money. And so my thoughts start going negative. You know, I wish I was on a yacht in the middle of whatever ocean she was in. I wish I had a $50,000 watch. I don't know. I'm just kind of making stuff up here. But even when you see positive things, sometimes your thoughts were skewed negative because that's how our brain is arranged. So I really love Katy Perry? Oh my goodness. I really love Byron Katie's work. Oh my goodness. Katy Perry has infiltrated my brain. Katy Perry is a singer. Byron Katie is I don't know what you would call her, a thought leader. She's like a spiritual uh thought leader? I don't know her title, which I guess shows you that titles are not important. Huh. So anyway, let's get back to this. And so let me before we get back to the questions, let me tell you some of the thoughts that people have given Byron Katie. Like, this person has wronged me, right? And I hate them. Or um not having self-acceptance because you may be gay, right? So the thought that gay is bad, or having thoughts about relationships or family. Um, my mom isn't happy and I'm the one that's making her unhappy. So you can use this work in any aspect of your life. It could be how you feel about yourself. It could be something to deal with your work. It could be something to deal with, your mental health, like let's say depression, the world around you, other people. And once again, if we're talking about other people, that's it's going to that work always has to bring it back to you, right? So let me say the simple questions again for those of you who are just coming in. My name is Kimberly Hess. I'm an empowerment coach with uh, my coaching company. Is called Sweet Like Honey Coaching. If you want some coaching, if you have a question, if you'd like to book a coaching session with me, feel free to DM me or wherever you are. You can also email me at kimberlyhessanthropologist@gmail.com. And we together start working on you having your best life yet. Because that's what I'm here for. I want everyone, come on, y'all. I want everyone to live their best life yet. There is no reason, I'm telling you, there's no reason that you can't live a life filled with joy and abundance and self love and self care and gratitude and authenticity and all the good things, right? Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about the framework that I made up that is modeled after Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the Blackfoot tribe. And it starts with gratitude. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I like that. Let's talk about that tomorrow. So, once again, pick a question, pick a thought that's in your mind. I'm not good enough for my partner. I'm not good enough for this job. Um, I'm not smart enough to do this. I need to lose weight. My I'm not a good mother or father, auntie, uncle, brother. Just pick something, pick a thought, right, that you're questioning, that you want to question. And then these are the 4 questions that Byron Katie gives you to ask yourself about that thought. Very simple questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when you believe the thought? And who would you be without that thought? Okay. So why does this matter? We'll start with business and leadership. Why does this matter in business and leadership? How can you use that in your work, dealing with others? So the first thing I would say is it reduces reactive decision making under pressure. So a lot of times as a business leader, as you may be, or I am, or even if you're not a leader, just let's just say at work, um, having these 4 questions in your pocket, taking a deep breath, thinking about it first, like let's say that like there's a big issue going on at work and you're unsure of how to solve it. Think of that that stressful thought, right? And really take a moment to ask yourself, is it true? Can you like let's say you're leading a team and some crisis comes up and you're freaking out, the first thing you would do is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when you believe that thought? And who would you be without that thought? I keep repeating it because I want this to be ingrained in not only your mind, but in mine. So once again, it reduces decision making that's reactive, like you're just reacting before you think. It also helps leaders detach from ego driven or fear based narratives. So I think a lot of times at work and in life, and in spirituality, we lead with our ego because that's the ego is strong in this world. The ego is strong in this world. And the ego, what we see out in the world is usually what's dominating, right? It's power, how you're perceived, what will people think about me? So asking these questions reduces the ego, and it also reduces fear-based narratives that we have, things that kind of bring the fear out of us quickly, that we think we're going to be harmed, that we're going to lose money, we're not good enough, like all of these fear-based things. Really examining the thought and asking these questions will uh detach and hopefully even reduce that ego and the fear attached with the um decisions that we have to make. Also, asking these questions will build emotional intelligence and resilience, right? We need that in life. I do not care what you do for a living. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you have children or not. I don't care how much money you have. I mean, I do care about all that, honeybees. I want you to live your best lives and have all the money and all the kids and all the jobs and all the success. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we are all human. And typically, having emotional intelligence is an amazing thing. We see more often than not people not having emotional intelligence. And we also see often than not people not having resilience. And it breaks people down. I know, I get it, I've been there. So these questions will definitely help you with that. Oops, sorry, I think I've been missing some chats. If I've missed your chat, I'm sorry. I will read them and respond later. But yes, um, I'm trying to juggle all the things at once, y'all. I'm learning. I'm learning. I am learning how to interact with you more, which is why I'm on live stream. I am not perfect. I just have a few notes, and my mission with Sweet Like Honey Coaching, and also my personal mission, is to help people live their best lives, to help them be empowered. Because so many of the clients that I have now and in the past, when I was doing diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting, it really all comes down to people thinking that they're not good enough. And I will be the first person to tell you over and over and over that you are good enough, right? That you are good enough, that you can be empowered, that you deserve all the good things coming to you. All right. All right. Let's close. Woo! It's time to go. I feel like I just started. I'm just on here yapping. And those of you who know me and those of you who don't, who are getting to know me, you will find out I love to talk. Um, I really love talking to other people and sharing ideas and getting wisdom from others. So if you would ever like to join me on a live stream, please email me. um come on live. Like if you're on TikTok, I can bring you on live. If you're on the live stream on LinkedIn and YouTube, I can bring you on live. I'm still learning how to do that, but I'll figure it out. So maybe it'll be easier if you let me know in advance. But I am here for you. If there is a topic that you would like me to speak on, if you would like to do some online coaching in front of my audience, free, right? I'm here for you. And also if you want to do private coaching, DM me, let me know. So in closing, so I can let y'all get back to your day, like I said, I think it was a biggie small song. Y'all, it was an intro. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And I so love and appreciate you all. So in closing, I want to leave you with this quote. Clarity begins where suffering ends. At the moment we stop believing everything we think. So once again, I've been asking this question for the last 2 days. Is it true? And this quote says, suffering basically will end when you get clarity. And I believe Byron Katie's The Work, you go to her website, thework.com. I believe her work, which is these 4 questions, will help you gain clarity. Okay, I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, folks. Bye. Oh, and remember, is it true? Is it true? Okay, take care. Bye.